Pretty much my whole life I've had probably what I would call, well, I've described to others as feeling like a square peg in a round hole. So all of those who are neurodiverse will understand, all of those who are not won't. The way that ADHD presents usually in women is very different to men. The diagnostic criteria is still really being based on young boys and males, and certainly not females, certainly not young, and certainly not later diagnosed females like myself. So when you get a later diagnosis, it's kind of a more like, a cross between grief and also relief. So it's a really hard thing to describe. So, you find out all of these things that you've been experiencing your whole life, there's a reason for them, that you're not broken, that you're not somehow incapable or your whole life you feel that way. So to find out that there is actually a reason why you're like that, and that there's a tribe of other people like you, all the other neurodiverse people in the world who experience very similar things to yourself. So finally now you find this tribe of people who describe life the way that you've always experienced it, and it's absolutely amazing and so freeing and so eye-opening. But then you have to start unraveling all the things that you've learned. I was diagnosed when I was 54 years old. I'm now 55. I am still learning what masking is. I didn't even know what the term was to start with. And in doing that, it's really helping me to understand all of the ways I compensated for not being normal. The way that most people do things, you learn how they do things and you compensate, and the bad side of that is whilst you're compensating, you're burning out. It's really hard to live life pushing down all of your natural tendencies and all of those thoughts that just constantly run in your mind about what a failure you are and why can't you do this when other people seem to do it with ease. You see other members of your family who do things so easily, and you just think, well, why can't I? Why can't I do that? And you berate yourself more than they could possibly berate you. You see friends who just easily do all of the things, and you're got major issues with what you think to be procrastination. You feel like an absolute failure when in fact your brain actually just says no. There's a yes and there's a no, and you can't make your brain switch it. You learn how to mask it, absolutely, and you learn ways to cope with it. You learn how to make yourself do things. You learn what works and what doesn't over the years, but in doing that there is often a true hiding of your core self, and that costs a lot mentally. So it's really, really hard. But anyway, that's where I am, that's who I am, and I'm still learning, and hopefully by sharing my own story, maybe I can help someone else get diagnosed and then start unraveling their own value in who they actually are, instead of looking at themselves as a complete failure like I did.